It is Wackadoodle Wednesday here at Occupy Democrats, and we all know the cliche, you are what you eat, but how about you are where you eat? And in this breaking story, if we don't think that Donald Trump has emboldened people everywhere to just let themselves show off more in really disgusting ways, oh no, he very much has, and they very much do. And I cannot believe the joy in sharing this breaking story with you, because once in a while, you get your comeuppance and your just desserts, because you're not only what you eat, you're where you eat. And I'm going to show you that story to you in just a few seconds. Take a quick listen to this in terms of what the rhetoric has brought us to at this point. I'll be right back. Take a look.
So, Jonathan, there was a woman who told NBC she sees these texts as a scare tactic, but that it's working, but who are breaking down in tears, are thinking about how they are going to explain what's going on to their kids. Tell me what's going on here as you see it.
It became clear that Donald Trump was on his way to the presidency, that I said that I was concerned on multiple levels. And the first level I said was I was concerned as an African American. And I was concerned as an African American because of the rhetoric used by Donald Trump on the campaign trail, saying that he wanted to let police have a day, some sort of day of rage. The dog whistle there is that he's going to go after black people.
And I want to go back, Charles, to what he said about the ubiquitousness of information that's out there. But I was struck by the fact that so many of the recipients were young, that they were college students, high school students, middle school students. But from a legal standpoint, the type of person, the group that might do this, or just what horrible people do.
Well, certainly, Chris, there is a profile of a person who is a horrible person who engages in this sort of behavior, a white supremacist, someone who is on the far right. But make no mistake about it, regardless of the illegality of this, and the FBI has the tools necessary to make those assessments and to identify and characterize who they need to in order to do their investigations. And it was the characterization of this as shocking. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's upsetting, but it's not shocking. And the reason why these individuals who have been targeted are oftentimes younger is because the people who are sending these messages want to send a very clear message as early as possible so that folks understand where we are going and what this is.
Let's bear in mind, I am a Caucasian male of a certain age who grew up in the rural Confederate South. And yes, it is in no way shocking, not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And just when you think it's safe to be a complete out loud a-hole, you find out, oopsie poop, maybe not. Check out what happened to this restaurant owner when he thought he'd go full MAGA. Breaking news, MAGA cafe that hawked pancakes with a side of racism closes weeks after opening. An Australian cafe that opened in Sydney with a Donald Trump theme is closing its doors after mere weeks. According to the New York Post, Mark DaCosta opened Bueno Eatery in St. Peter's in March after closing down his Waterloo cafe, Hale and Hardy, in 2020 after being involved in a series of internet controversies in which he called a community member a homophobic slur. He also declared his cafe a Donald Trump safe zone, which served pancakes with a side of racism. When the restaurant first opened, DaCosta told news.com.au, in quotes, about how he had grown up and had hoped to move on from his Trump-laden controversies with his latest venue situated at the end of Newtown's renowned King Street in Australia. However, after just 6 weeks, DaCosta announced the closure of the cafe, posting a photo of himself in his Trump shirt, posting a photo of himself in a MAGA shirt, and giving the finger to the camera. DaCosta, who previously competed on Australian Idol, blamed snowflakes for the failure of his restaurant, which echoes how, after the failure of Hale and Hardy, he blamed the left-wing fake vegan community and told his critics to go F yourself. He has vowed to release a song about Bueno's failure and told news.com.au that Newtown is, in quotes, infested with rats and hairy men. While this Australian pro-Trump venture failed in the United States, some other people have tried with varying degrees of success to create Trump-themed food service. In Punta Gorda, Florida, one local business owner named Tom Watson dressed up his establishment into the MAGA Cafe in 2020, which he said was to attract positive energy. And in Texas, the Trump Burger restaurant chain has created effectively a shrine to the president out of the building. For me, the best part about this story is not whether it took place in Texas or Florida or the fact that it took place in Australia, because as I've said my entire life, there's pretty everywhere and there's ugly everywhere. And sometimes we're not just talking about someone's visual appearance. It's the core soul of who they are. And I don't know what level of hubris, arrogance, or bigotry and racism you have to actually feel like you can, in whatever neighborhood you're in, as an entrepreneur, a small business owner, and a retailer, to actually think you can get away with saying serve with a side of racism. I don't know what level of hubris, but my favorite part of that story is that prior to opening this particular storefront, he'd said he learned his lesson. Well, our desire going forward is that somehow people surrounding Trumposphere in this country are going to some way, some form, learn their lesson about sucking up to this clown. Yeah, I'm speaking to you, the Senate. I'm speaking to you, the House. I'm speaking to you, the GOP Congress. But no, they just keep on trundling down that road, matriculating down to the Hades that may be the end of their political lives and careers. And in the meantime, you guys enjoy your life. Keep smiling. Talk to your friends. Talk to those you don't agree with. Woo! Stay frosty with a side of humility. See you soon.